Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. Yeah, I'm your host. My name's David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. Now, what do we do in the Cardone Solutions Podcast? Well, very simple. I'm going to go out into cyberspace. Well, look, let me just backtrack 1 second. 80, if not 85% of what we do at Cardone Training Technologies is 100% free. So I'm going to go out into cyberspace. I'm going to find the free content that we're putting out there. This could be a blog post. It could be an email we're sending out. It could be something up on the Twitter. It could be maybe something on the Grant, perhaps. Maybe even a YouTube video. And I'm going to take it and we'll break it down a little bit. I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to put my 2 cents into it. I'm going to give it back to you. And then you can take it and plug it into your sales and your business and your life. Initially, this was me just breaking down Grant's blogs and his strategies of the week because not everybody has time to sit down and read, but everyone's in the car, right? Listening. So that is the purpose of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. And today's episode is going to get juicy. Today, we're going to be talking about the Grant Cardone Bankruptcy video, which I'm sure you've seen, and why that in real life will never actually happen. In fact, I've got 7 reasons that it'll never happen. Hope you're ready. But before I get started, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. Let me drop a note or a word from our sponsor. Hey, so make sure, do me a favor. If you're liking the Cardone Solutions Podcast, first timers, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. For those of you that have been following along for a little bit, thank you as well. Much appreciate you guys being here, coming in and day out to get a little listen to good old Dave over here. So much appreciated to you. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Subscribe wherever you enjoy fine podcasts. And then also, if you're getting some value from it, if you're getting some benefit from it, please share this out with somebody else so they can get something from it too. Right? Don't be selfish. Right? Share the good news. Share the good word. Okay? Get it out there. Okay? Whether that's you tweeting something out you read, maybe it's posting something up on the Facebook or over on LinkedIn. Right? Wherever it is you like to do your social media socialing, please make sure you get it out there. Also, today's episode is being brought to you by Grant Cardone's 10X Income System. I won't tie this all in real nicely, but here's the bottom line on the Grant Cardone 10X Income System. Let me ask you a quick question. Are you making enough? How would you like to learn from the best? How would you like to have access to the most comprehensive business training anywhere available in the galaxy that's guaranteed to increase your income? Would you like to know more about growing your primary income, adding additional flows of income, growing your pipeline, creating passive income, and then how the wealthy, the truly wealthy, the 1%ers, those guys, how do they grow their wealth? Okay. All of this and more is available to you over at cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. That's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. You can get access to this thing. We charge $297 per quarter, or you can just get the whole year covered for only $997. So that's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. That's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. So now I'm just going to I'm going to give you the skinny. I'm going to give you the straight dirt. I'm going to give you the dish. This is why Grant Cardone Bankruptcy is never going to happen. Will not gonna, ain't gonna. Okay, now that Grant Cardone Bankruptcy video he did got a whole lot of attention back in April of this year. So much so that people are still Googling it right now, if you look at Google Trends. So now whether or not this was a good idea, why that video did what it did, those are topics for a completely different podcast altogether, where we can look at marketing, we can talk about branding, we can talk about choking out your haters. But today, I want to just stop and look at, there was a recent blog post that Grant did that reveals the top 7 reasons why this will never actually happen. And at the same time, can we take that information and then look at what can we do with that? What can we do with the 7 reasons why it'll never happen to inoculate ourselves from financial ruin? So to make sure it's even worth your time to continuing on with this, to just keep listening, let me ask you a couple questions. Do you hold your breath every time you check your bank account? Are you shocked when your monthly credit card statement arrives? right? Do you think you're earning a good salary? Right until you realize you're not? Till you see how little is left over after taxes and expenses and, right? I mean, if you're listening to this and you're in sales, you know you've had a good month, and then you crack open your check and you're like, where'd my money go? Right? And there's Uncle Sam waving at you. Hey, congratulations, commission boy. You're in a higher tax bracket this month. So I'm just going to help myself to a little bit more. And then you're like, insurance. And you're like, 401k. And then you're like, bills. And you're like, food. And then you're like, man, where'd it go? I'm broke. Son of a. So if that's you, if you've ever gone through that, if any of those questions are ringing true, if that scenario sounds like last week, then would it be a bad idea to look at how and why Grant Cardone's bankruptcy is impossible at this point, and how you can incorporate this financial literacy into your world? So I'm going to list them off. 7 reasons Grant Cardone bankruptcy is impossible. 1, multiple flows of income. 2, focus on income versus savings. 3, very strict rules for petty purchases. 4, targets freedom over comfort. 5, goes for abundance instead of just enough. 6, invests in income-producing assets. 7, has an emergency fund. So, per tradition, I'm going to give you some action ideas. I'm going to give you some things that you can do, take with you. And the first one is this: run down those 7. And let's sort them out by your current level of certainty on them. And as you can see, some of these are tangible and some are intangible. And when you're certain, that means you're sure. So, how sure are you about these? You want me to read them again? Multiple flows of income. Focus on income versus savings. Very strict rules for petty purchases. Targets freedom over comfort. Goes for abundance instead of just enough. Invests in income-producing assets. Has an emergency fund. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how certain are you about each of these 7 as it applies to your current financial condition? And once you have that, then we go into action idea number 2. So if you're listening in the car, it might make sense to hit this back up one more time with a notepad, right? Action idea number 2 is this: what would it take to get to a 10 in each of these areas? And I want to have you just start coming up with a plan right now to shift your think on the intangibles and then create a plan for the tangibles. So let's dig a little bit deeper into these things, okay? Would you consider the following? Before you go full on side hustle, how many different ways are there for you to make money at your present job? Grant has said for years that you don't have a spending problem, you have an income problem. And most of your financial woes can be handled simply by increasing income. Now, before you go out and buy any bullshit, can you afford to buy 2 of them, 2 of such bullshit, without it impacting your financial security? And what would happen if instead of the bullshit, you reinvested this quote-unquote surplus of cash back into your own personal development and the growth of your business? What will you do for the freedom of having indestructible wealth? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for your freedom? I mean, this is literally how America was built. That is an American ideal. Look at our history as Americans. Look at the hardships that we have gone through as Americans, are going through as Americans. Nothing great ever happens in a comfort zone. How would you feel if you could contribute even more to your church, a charity that you support, or a family member in need? And can you do that right now to the degree that you wish you could? Do your investments pay you? Do they cash flow? I mean, are you even in vehicles like that if you're investing? And then if, God forbid, there was a medical emergency, sudden loss of employment, a natural disaster, a pandemic, do you have at least 9 to 12 months living expenses set aside at the ready just in case? So those are questions you want to ask yourself as you start looking at each one of these 7. So to wrap it all up, nice and tight and a little bow for you. As you can see already, Grant's got those 7 handled. Okay? The first step to multiple flows and increasing your income, now that you've decided to get there, to join him, the first step to multiple flows and increasing income is having a full pipeline. You need to know how to first generate opportunity in order to maximize opportunity. What's the point of being a great closer if you got nobody to close? Okay? And whatever business you're in, if it's not growing, it's dying. There's no middle ground there. If you're seeking real freedom and you want to inoculate yourself from going broke, these 7 things you got to have a handle on, like a firm handle on. And if not, then you get to continue to enjoy sleepless nights of uncertainty and negative self-talk. Sorry. So that's the point. That's the purpose of that 10x income system I talked about earlier. Literally designed to give you solutions to all 7 of these things. Like how to shift your think from comfort to freedom. How to put 90% of your attention and intention on income and revenue, and only 10% on saving and the bottom line. Grant's going to show you how to blow up your pipeline, how to maximize every opportunity that you create, and grow your business. So to get started on that, all you got to do, head on over to cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. That's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Like really, I'm having a blast doing it, and I'm really grateful that you're here and that you're tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Make sure you're sharing it out into cyberspace. Thanks again for being here. Have an awesome rest of your week, and be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.